Hello, everybody. Welcome to Ladies Power Lunch. Thank you so much for joining us. I am really excited. One, because we were able to have so many great friends join us on the call today. And two, we are going to be talking to Dina, who is somebody that I absolutely adore. So before we get started, why don't we just run around the room real quick? And I'm not telling you to get off your chair and go run around the room unless you really want to. But why don't we go around the room and have everybody who's here introduce themselves? Teresa, would you like to start?
Sure. So I am Teresa, and I'm the owner of Teresa Nat Studio, and I specialize in personal brand photography and videography. So basically, my goal is to help businesses really get their stories out there and to stand out and shine.
And may I have Naomi introducing herself?
Hi, I'm Naomi Rafalowitz. I am a life transition coach. I love helping women move through personal life transition with self-discovery and authenticity. I help you get started and get moving and take the next step. And I also help people take a look at their mental fitness and look at their saboteurs and what's stopping them and figure out how to come from that sage perspective.
I love that. And I feel like there is no time that this is more needed than now. So really glad that you're able to do this for us and that you're hopping on this call today, because I feel like you will have some perspective to share based on what our topic is going to be. Lynn, welcome. Hi, tell us who you are and what you do, please.
I am Lynn Gallant. I am a health and lifestyle educator, but focused really on what you put in and around your body and your mind. And I'm focusing right now on my Scout and Cellar wines, which are additive free. So, and I've worked with everyone on this call today, and I'm very familiar with everyone and so glad to be here with everyone.
Awesome. I'm really happy that we all were able to join. So Dina is going to be talking to us about maintaining our mental health during pandemic times. And I feel like that's an outstanding topic. And I'm just curious, anybody want to share why they thought it was necessary to hop onto this call today? Anybody at all? Anybody?
I'll share.
Sure.
So I know for me personally, like I'm sure everybody's in this boat, like this year has been one of the most trying years in pretty much every single capacity. And I know as someone who suffers from depression and anxiety, this year has triggered a lot of stuff for me. Like I've started having panic attacks again, and I haven't had panic attacks in years.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really made me slow down a little and take my mental health into more consideration than I was, in past years, because there just wasn't as many stressing factors. So when I saw this post come up, I was like, oh, I really want to go and just learn more what I can do to help me and to help my husband, because he's kind of in the same boat right now.
I feel like, Teresa, we're all in the same boat. We're all really just looking for ways that we can support our mental health during times that are a bit unusual. So it's really great. And thank you so much, Dina, for joining us. Dina, I know you. I adore you. But some of our listeners might not know who you are yet, and they might not love you yet as much as I do. Can you share with us who you are and wonderful things you're doing in the world?
Sure. Hi, my name is Dina Otrin. I'm a licensed professional counselor. I'm in private practice called Bayside Counseling, where I focus on anxiety and depression and life transitions. I've been in the mental health field for 21 years and in private practice for 19. And in my work with adults, I really love to embrace a holistic life coaching and modalities with clients to really empower them to align with their authentic self and to cultivate their mental wellness and their personal happiness and help them kind of define like where their purpose and where their passions are in life.
Awesome. So with all has been going on this year, and I like to suggest that this year has been a time of transformation for a lot of us. Yeah. What would you say are the number one things that we should be taking into consideration as far as our mental health goes?
Well, I would say first and foremost, I would really want people to first pay attention to their mental health. And I just want to ask this one quick question is how long do you believe it takes someone to actually reach out for any services if they have a mental health concern?
Too
How
long.
long do you think they wait before they first reach out for any kind of services? Just take a guess,
A year?
whether it's in the chat. And this is the average time that I'm going to tell you.
Um,
And it's far more than a year.
Wow.
Yes. And just for the sake of time, I will tell you, if you can believe it, average time is 11 years. From the onset of a mental health concern to when someone may reach out for services. So first and foremost is I would want people to start being honest with themselves and not think that you have to or should be able to take care of it all by yourself, because that is why we exist.
So
Counselor,
Christy is over here on Facebook and she commented 10 years. So she was kind of close.
she was
but
the closest one, yes.
yes.
And to me, that was a mind-blowing statistic. And I also just wanted to share that the 3 top mental health concerns, and this is from 2018, so you know it's even increased. The number 1 was anxiety, and that was at 48 million people. This is just in the US. Second was depression, 17 million people, and post-traumatic stress, 9 million. Now you imagine 2020. Now we have COVID anxiety on top of regular anxiety, on top of, let's face it, the election anxiety, on top of maybe concerns of global warming and what, certainly our state of our world looks like. Seasonal depression, this is the time it starts. So we have all these other things that are impacting us that could be exacerbating what we already have or creating it from the beginning.
Yeah.
So I've had clients that I've just seen because of anxiety started due to the pandemic, and other people I've seen for other reasons, but the anxiety of the pandemic is exacerbated.
This is definite. There have been no limit to the amount of things that we could use to choose to give ourselves anxiety over. I spent some time being focused on murder hornets and allowing that to be a source of anxiety for me. I mean, thank goodness it didn't come anywhere close to me, but sand coming from the Sudan and causing respiratory issues. Like there were, this year had its fair share of anxiety provoking moments. That's for
Absolutely.
sure. So
Absolutely.
there's no doubt that I would say for most of us, and I'm always going to suggest that everybody have mental health support, but for most of us, what would you suggest our do's and don'ts be as far as focusing on our mental health and making sure that, especially during these times that might be a bit more anxiety provoking, that we are taking care of ourselves?
I'm going to start with do's, and I'm going to preface it in that we really need to go inward and expand outward. So we need to go inward to align with our intuition and our higher self and our authentic self. And we need to expand outward for connections, support, and social interactions. And I think it all begins with mindfulness. And mindfulness is really being self-aware and acknowledging in the present moment how you are thinking, feeling, and your body reaction towards something. Because, for example, I'm going to give you both examples. One is someone has a thought of trying something new or making a big life change. And then their thought is fear. And then they start coming up with all these reasons why it can't happen, why they can't be successful, all these roadblocks, all these excuses. And then their behavior is avoidance, procrastination, anxiety, maybe emotional eating, versus someone has a thought that they want to try something new or make a big change. And they go into a thought of what if, or I wonder, maybe being open to possibilities, maybe feeling a little excited or motivated about it. Well, then their behavior is going to look different. They're going to start maybe doing some research, some goal setting, some networking, investigating, maybe shadowing someone. So it's amazing how, first and foremost, the mindfulness of being mindful about what our thought, feeling, and behavior is towards something and how that leads us to a certain action. So that's number one. That's self-awareness.
Self-awareness. I love that one. Self-awareness, mindfulness, and community. Those are some things that I am really always certainly trying to have as a part of my life, but also to encourage those people who are part of our community to embrace those values as well.
And I wanted to discuss ways to really help support that more positive mindset. So the latter of the example, one I love and I talk about a lot is mantras. And I think mantras should start with I for ownership. So you're bringing such, in that moment, strength to yourself to reinforce your self-confidence, your self-esteem, your self-worth, your abilities, your strengths. So an example is, I am deserving of all I desire. Or I am open to what the universe wants to send me. Or simply, I got this.
I got this. Oh, that's a really, really good one. I like that one a lot.
Yeah. I want to share deep breathing. I think we all very much understand, we breathe in and breathe out, but I want to give you two techniques that are also really helpful to stop the mind spinning and also give calmness to your body. So one is called the square breath, and it's all in counts of 4. So I'm going to draw the square with my finger as we go through it. So we're going to inhale through the count of 4. We're going to hold that breath for the count of 4. We're going to exhale to the count of 4, and we're going to pause for a count of 4 and repeat. And it makes a square. That is your square breath. The next breath is 4-7-8, which is a technique which you breathe in to the count of 4, and you breathe in through your nose. You hold that breath for a count of 7, and you exhale through your mouth for the count of 8. Now, the beauty of both of these breathing techniques is not only are you bringing that calmness to your body, but you are also distracting the thinking in your mind, because now I have to focus on counting. And this has been really beneficial for clients with anxiety. And then if you want to even step it up a notch, before you breathe in, say to yourself what you want to breathe into your body. I'm breathing in calmness. I'm breathing in courage. I'm breathing in strength, whatever it is. And then on my exhale, I'm releasing stress. I'm releasing doubt, whatever that is. That's like bringing it up a little extra notch. That is also really great because that's the intentional breath.
I love all of those. Those are all wonderful. Excellent.
Meditation. I have so many different little tidbits that I love to share. Meditation is awesome.
I love the idea of meditation, but there are some of our members who might suggest to you, Dina, that meditation is not as easy for them as it might be for someone else. So could you really go a little bit more deeply into this idea of meditation?
Yes. And can I tell you, meditation can happen in so many different ways. You can be walking and it becomes a meditative stance because the meditation of the movement and hearing maybe your shoes hit the pavement becomes a meditative place. Even drawing, coloring, painting, it helps us to get into a meditative, calm stance. It doesn't necessarily mean I have to sit in a chair or lay down and try to calm my mind, because that's really hard for a lot of people. And then I would also suggest guided meditations on like YouTube are awesome, because here I have to focus on listening to someone, and their voice or maybe the background music can really help kind of soothe into a space of being able to relax and take in what they're hearing. So I would suggest those things, as meditation doesn't have to look any one way.
I love that you're saying that, because I feel like there are people who may have tried meditating in the traditional sense, just sitting and
Mm-hmm.
trying to calm your mind, and they have found that to be difficult, or they may even have, let me go on a limb here and say, failed at that. And so they have discarded the idea of meditation when it doesn't have to look exactly the same for everyone. I'm a big proponent that it's never one size fits all for almost anything that you can think of. And so I'm really excited that you are reinforcing this idea that meditation doesn't have to be just one thing or one way.
Yes, absolutely. Of course, we all know how important this year gratitude was, to help put us into a positive mindset about really appreciating where we are, who we have in our life, being thankful, and having a sense of contentment, I think is very important for our mental well-being, especially during pandemic times. Exercise is huge. Exercise, and I'll lump yoga into it, even though I think yoga is a little bit, has an extra little piece. But with exercise, just releasing the stress, releasing endorphins and serotonin and things that just make us feel good and give us energy and motivate us. And then yoga, which could be a slightly different piece where we're on the mat. And I think on the mat, we learn about ourselves on the mat, and we can leave stuff on the mat. And that's what I love about yoga, is in those spaces and in those moments, we're learning we can push through a little bit of discomfort. We can go a little further than we thought we could. We can do something, some sort of position that we looked at and was like, no. And then we're like, oh my God, I can.
Absolutely. We're going back to, I mean, you've given us a lot of really, really good ideas and areas to focus on in terms of really supporting our mental health. Lynn says in the chat, agree 100% on the meditation. It can be effective however it works for you. And there is a comment from Adrienne, and she says, my 20-year-old daughter has a hard time with meditation. She goes outside to listen to the wind in the trees and listen to the ice dripping. And I agree. It doesn't have to look the same for everyone. I knew that this was going to be a portion of your talk that people would resonate with, because not everybody is able to find that clear mind. I mean, even some days it might be easier to find that clear mind than others. So absolutely, yes.
And I also want to highlight two other things that I think are super important is adequate sleep.
Sleep, yes, absolutely.
Adequate sleep. And also we really, and this is a topic unto itself, and this could be a whole other conversation, but healthy boundaries.
Yes. So say more about healthy boundaries. Why are those so important?
All right. Healthy boundaries are just so important because it's allowing us to stay true to ourselves, number one. And number two, say for instance, it's about individuals or people, then it is about, I'm sorry, somebody's knocking on my door, so it's a little disrupting me right now. It is about people, having people surrounding yourself who are uplifting you, who are supporting you, who are raising you up. It is also about, surrounding yourself with things that bring joy to you and deciding to allow things that don't to go to the wayside. And it's also about honoring yourself and your time. So there may be things that you say yes to that you really need to say no to.
And when
there's so many pieces with boundaries.
There really are. And when you're saying yes to things that you should really be saying no to, or things that you don't really want to say yes to, you're actually setting yourself up for
Yeah,
mental
you're
discord.
stressing yourself out.
That's definitely an anxiety promoting activity.
Yeah.
Adrienne says over here on Facebook, high five on the healthy boundaries. You're definitely getting a lot of likes and hearts surrounding
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Beautiful. Anything else we should be focusing on?
I think just a really good visual is motivational or vision boards. I think are awesome to really look at what you want to focus on for intentions in your life, or what goals you may want to focus on for 2021. And for instance, I want to tell you that motivational board idea came from a student who was heading off to college. And she said that she was going to create a motivational board um, in her dorm. And she just wanted to make it all these really powerful, positive quotes. So then I've started to have, in this past couple of years, I've had clients who are like college and high school years create motivational board. So they write down a message that was important to them, but also left for other people. So I think creating things like that that you can hang up, that you can see, that are motivating to you are really awesome because they're great visuals.
I like that. I like because I've made vision boards in the past, and this year has been interesting because we made our vision boards on Canva instead, because we were online instead of in person. So that was fun. But
Mm-hmm.
I think there's an opportunity here because I don't think I've ever made a motivation board. That's
Mm-hmm.
new and exciting, and I love quotes and things of that nature. So this is going to be great for me.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'll tell you, everyone of all ages loves it because it's allowing yourself to just be creative and break out your crayons and your pencils and find quotes on the computer, or you can add pictures to it too, but it's very cool stuff. So I wanted to then say, of course, expanding outward, connection is like number one predictor of one's personal happiness and life success. So connection is huge.
Connections are
Accessing a
huge.
support system.
Absolutely. I think so. I mean, when I hopped onto our Zoom today and I saw all of you, you saw how happy that made me. It was just so heartwarming to see all of you joining us here, and to see our friends joining us over on Facebook, and to see our members in our Ladies Power Lunch community commenting and participating in a really, really meaningful way every single day. It really keeps us going when things on the outside don't seem to match up with how we want to feel on the inside.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And right now it's connection in any way. Even the virtual way, this is still connection, and it's so vitally important.
We have a comment over on
Mm-hmm.
Facebook, and this one's interesting. Adrienne says that I asked my high school team to make a motivation jar for them to look
Mm-hmm.
back when the season gets tough or whenever they are needing motivation. So,
Mm-hmm.
Adrienne, she is a swim coach, so she has a team of swimmers, and I think that's really, really great. They write their own motivations, put it in the jar, and then when things are going tough, they pick a
Yeah,
motivation from the jar. I love that. That is a
that's awesome.
wonderful idea.
Absolutely. I also think really embracing a support system is very important. Creating social interactions and doing things that bring you joy.
Yes. I think that we could all have a lot more fun. Don't you agree? Especially this
Mm-hmm.
year when we've been
Yep.
homebound, at least for the most of us, more than perhaps ever before, doing things that bring you joy. And it doesn't have to be anything dramatic. I mean,
No.
walking in the snow was fun for my children, you know, something as
Yes.
simple as that. I
Yes.
like it.
For me, listening to music brings me great joy.
Christy says, my mom is listening to this with me and learning great tips for mental health. Thanks, Dina. So this is
Oh,
this
you're
is
welcome.
wonderful. And it's good that this will be recorded so people can go back and listen to it on our podcast. People can go back and listen to it on YouTube, and of course find it in the Facebook group. So it'll be there as a resource for anybody who is looking for tips on how to get through tough times. So we're running low on time. Do you have any other tips that you'd like to share with us before we wrap this up?
I would say just probably, again, things to avoid, because I never got to the avoid part. And I
Sure.
think that is a good thing is, when you need some sort of support professionally, don't wait 11 years.
Don't wait 11 years. Don't wait 11 years. Absolutely. Yes.
And I think don't neglect your own self-care.
Yes. Absolutely. And as women sometimes, and as women in business, and women who we're running our businesses and we're taking care of our families and we're doing all the things, guess who gets
Mm-hmm.
left behind a lot of the
Right.
times? That
Right.
happens. This is real. So
Mm-hmm.
I really have to say I absolutely agree, Dina. Did you have any other don'ts for us, or was that pretty much your list?
Mine was make sure that you really try to engage and have connections. It's vitally important. And my last one was not allowing fear or those limiting beliefs to really dictate your life and your future.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of back to that mindfulness right from the beginning.
That I've got this.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Awesome.
And then I had a few, 3 apps that I wanted to just quickly go over.
Sure.
And I wanted to touch base on our young adolescents because they're also struggling through this, and we're mothers and we're aunts and all of that. And I've seen a lot of teenage girls. One is, it's called Rethink, and it's an app for cyberbullying.
Oh my, yes. I'm going to put that in the chat. Rethink.
Yes. And it was actually created by a 13-year-old girl. And when parents or teachers installed this, they actually found a 93% positive rate that if someone was writing something that was considered online bullying, it was highlighted, and 93% of the time the person changed their wording.
Okay.
Which I thought was pretty amazing. So that's one. The second one is called A Friend Asks. And this is about if there is a youth that is having thoughts of suicide. I think we've all heard suicide has ramped up significantly this year, and especially in our youth.
Okay.
And that app gives information, tools, resources. And so often I'll hear, someone say, oh, my friend said this to me, that they may not want to be here anymore. What do I do? Mm-hmm. So that's a great one. And then the third one that I wanted to just mention was mentioned to me to a client who's a high school student. It's called Intellect, Create a Better You. And it is an Intellect, Create a Better You.
Okay.
This was created by psychologists, behavioral change experts, and personality researchers to help work with limiting psychological habits and beliefs, and kind of have you start to really work on more positive mindset and positive thinking.
I feel like I need to go download that one immediately, just because we could all really...
And all ages could use that one.
Yeah, we could all really just do some work. I don't think there's anybody who is exempt from this work of really focusing on getting rid of those limiting beliefs. Because even on the days when you feel like you're crushing it, there's something somewhere in the back of your mind that is probably holding you back. So I think that's awesome. Thank you for those apps that you're sharing. So you're giving us a free gift today. Tell me a little bit more about that.
Okay. Well, I am doing a Chakra Love the Rainbow Within course. And I've also am creating a pre-recorded self-guided 8-week course. And that is what I'm going to give away as my gift. So a focus of an 8-week course all on chakra work.
8-week course all on chakra work. So tell us a little bit more about that. How's that going to work? How's that going to run?
So it is going to be sent out via emails to links. And what I will be providing is information on each chakra.
Mm-hmm.
I will be providing a meditation that I create on each chakra.
Mm-hmm.
I will be providing yoga poses for each chakra to enhance. I will be providing toning for each chakra. So
nice.
things that I love and that
Mhm.
I've been doing for years, I am putting together, and I'm so excited to have someone win this today.
That is a wonderful, wonderful gift. So,
And that is going inward.
yes, absolutely. So today we had quite a few people join us over on our Facebook group and also here in our Zoom room. And so I'm going to invite you, Dina. Can you choose a number between 1 and 10?
I'm going to choose 7.
Awesome. And our winner today is Amelia, who joined us over on Facebook. So,
Great.
everybody, we had a wonderful time talking to Dina. It was so educational, provided us with so much information about how we can really focus on taking care of our mental health, and all the tips that she gave us are so valuable. So I really want to say thank you. I'm going to invite you to hop on over to our Facebook group and just respond to some of the comments that were left, and to also drop
Okay.
your links so that everybody can be in contact with you. If people wanted to reach out to you, what's your website?
Well, my website, I have 2 of them. One actually is being recreated. So that one is baysidecounseling.net.
Okay.
So you can go there, and that's one of my fun 2021 new things. And then my other one is an empoweredlife.net.
I like that. That's a really, really good name for a website. Gina,
Thank
it's
you.
been a pleasure talking to you. It always is a pleasure talking to you. And everybody who was able to join us today, thank you so much for joining us. Congratulations to Amelia for being our Free Gift
Yay!
Friday winner. Yay! And I invite you all to connect with Gina, because I'm sure that the things that she's offering are the things that we need for a healthier, happier 2021. Take care, everybody. Have a great rest of the day. Bye.
Bye.